Thank you so much for joining us, Congressman. So Attorney General Bondi asked the federal judge to release grand jury testimony from the Epstein case. But as you know, that's only a fraction of the so-called Epstein files and evidence amassed as a result of the investigation. You've co-sponsored legislation with your colleague Thomas Massie to release all of the Epstein files. So I can't imagine you're content with this small, discrete grand jury information being released. That's not enough, right?
I think it's a start, Jake, and thank you for your fair reporting on this up to this point. I think Senator Klobuchar, as she likes to say, as a former prosecutor, where the heck was she the last 4 years? Dick Durbin, and you're correct, he did effectively try to and did block my Senator Blackburn from getting those files released. And it's clear what the Democrats are up to. They're tanking. The country knows it. Their biggest candidate in the whole country, Jake, is a guy, people in New York, a guy people are accusing of a communist. And what's he say? Oh, hey, I'm not a communist. I'm a socialist. As if that's a selling point. That's what the Democrat Party has fallen into. Where the heck have they been the last 4 years? I'm ticked off at everybody. Look, this thing should have been handled. Now we're at the point they're going to start dumping files. And my biggest fear in this, Jake, you got 1,000 children that were abused by this dirtbag who's burning in hell right now, and he should be. And yet the American public's all pointing the finger, trying to play politics with this thing, and it's not accurate. I applaud the president for wanting to release those files. I think it's a good start. I think we, they keep saying he talked about it repeatedly, and that's just not accurate. He was asked 2 different times during the campaign about it, and he said, sure, we're going to release them. He also said he's going to release the UFO files and the Kennedy files, and we're still working on all that because it is a dadgum process. You've got innocent people on those flight logs that flew. President Trump has admitted he flew on those flights, and dozens of other Americans, I'm sure, rode. I know a lot of wealthy people, Jake, and they fly on these dadgum planes, private planes. If one's broke down, they say, hey, I got a seat on this guy's plane. Can you want to ride with us to New York? And that's what happens. And so I caution America, though, if we need to have some sort of way to filter out the innocence in these things. Yeah. And for Dick Durbin to start making his point now, I think that you all in the media should bust his tail for that, because that is very disingenuous, and that is clearly a cover-up by the Democrat Party.
Yeah, no, without question, Senator Blackburn has been trying to get the flight logs subpoenaed and other information about the Epstein files for years. But as you note, there are people in these files who are innocent, who didn't do anything except flew on Epstein's plane, for example, in the 90s. Epstein was first, I think, arrested in 2005, 2006. So he wasn't scandalous until then. So it certainly can be understood if people, whether RFK Jr. or Bill Clinton or whoever, associated themselves with him before then. But there are also individuals in these files who weren't prosecuted but probably did commit some criminal acts. Let me just ask you about this effort to get these files released. As of right now, there are 10 Republicans, including yourself, who've signed Congressman Massie's what's called a discharge petition. It forces legislation onto the floor of the House for a vote. It requires 218 signatures. Presumably, a lot of Democrats are going to support it, too. A lot of Republican leaders seem to want this issue to go away. Do you think you're going to get 218 signatures on the discharge petition to force it for a vote? And how many Republicans do you think will join you?
I have no earthly idea, Jake. You know this town buries secrets. You wrote a book about it, and it's doing very well because America agrees with you. This town buries secrets. I mean, do you honestly believe Lee Harvey Oswald shot John F. Kennedy from the front and the back, and this miraculous lead bullet that had hardly a scrape on it was found on a gurney in a hospital shortly after the president passed away? This town does not give up its secrets easy. And it's fighting and kicking. And the reason I'm worried about these files now is the fact that the Biden administration, who in my opinion has a history of corruption, has tampered with these files, and we're never going to get to the bottom of it. I think stuff could have been placed in those files. Do I have proof? Well, no, I don't, but I have a gut feeling, and I have a historical reference, which is every dadgum time something like this happens in this town, it gets covered up, and it needs to stop. And I salute President Trump for pushing to move forward on those records that they have. But I do want them to be. I would like them to be filtered a little bit. I don't want the 1,000 innocents and some of those people that flew, as you mentioned earlier.
Right, but you do want more than just the grand jury testimony that he has called for. You would like more in a responsible way, but as many files as possible that can be released.
Yes, sir.
All right. Congressman Tim.
Yes, sir. And the president's, yes, sir. I agree. Thank you. Thank you, Jay.
No, go ahead.
Appreciate
You're going to make a point. I'm sorry.
Now, I was going to say the president takes a lot of heat for what he said earlier, but Trump has an incredible strategy. They said, "Oh, the big beautiful bill won't pass by July 4th." What happened? Trump worked it. It came out by July 4th. Senator Hagerty's bill on cryptocurrency, they said they wanted it to the president's desk by Friday. There was no way it was going to happen. I'm sitting in a meeting with the speaker and Whip Emmert and about 10 or 12 fellow conservatives that had problems. Trump calls, answers every one of our dadgum questions, and guess what? He signed that bill on Friday. And that, he has an incredible gift at strategy and winning, and that's what he does.